I am the ranch manager with Genoa Livestock. We are a purebred Hereford operation, raise Hereford seed stock for commercial cattlemen and registered animals. And pretty much we graze cows, we market bulls and market registered females. So we're big on AI, which is artificial insemination. Almost all cows on the place here get AI'd, and if they've kind of fallen out of the breeding program or raised just kind of a subpar calf, or we're trying to get rid of a genetic line we'll make recipient cows out of them and put embryos in them from a donor cow that has been proven, and most of our donor cows are anywhere from 5 to 12, 13 years old. So proven genetics, we're trying to mass produce those, if you will. So I'd say the major benefit is you can move your the genetics in your herd a lot faster, and you can try some newer bulls without having to invest a large amount of money in them. So you can buy 20, 30 straws a unit, or 20 or 30 units of semen on a bull and try them out before you really sink a lot of time and money into investing in that genetic line or into a cow family or whatever.
My role here is the Senior Assistant Director and Research Coordinator. So that's with the Nevada Agricultural Experiment Station. We finished our AI last week. So that's a huge part of our process. So when this program originated, we imported both live rams, which you could back in the day. It's a little more challenging to do that now. And then it's much easier for us to import semen. So we buy semen out of Australia. We've been working with a sheep producer there for years. We usually buy about 3 years worth of semen in that shipment, and we do about 200 ewes. So we did 200 ewes last week. And so we have known sires and known dams. So we can sell those as very unique animals. We know that. The background, we know the characteristics. We also do what's called single sire mating pens. So we'll take around 30 to 35 ewes, put them in a small pen with one ram. And so we'll know, and we're choosing those, both the ewes and the rams, based on their characteristics. So we're looking for high-end sheep that have the qualities we're looking for, as well as rangeland guys. And then we'll breed them so that we know what that offspring is. Now, it's not that we don't have quality sheep altogether, but we usually try to do about 500 very unique bred animals with either the AI or the single sire, and then we'll group breed the rest. So that's back to your question on it. It is traditional, and it's not very common to do the AI. Well, AI is challenging because it's pretty invasive, right? We're doing a laparoscopic treatment for these animals. Traditionally, it's about a 65% success rate is considered good. So if we take 200 animals, we're going to get 65% of those. So we do a backup coverage on those animals. We don't want them to go in the season without being bred, so we usually wait 14 days. We do marking harnesses on backup rams or cleanup bucks, and then we'll get them bred. Because it's a synchronization, we're using drugs and chemicals to get those animals to synchronize in time to accept that semen for AI. It's not 100%. And it's not necessarily the individual animal's fault, it's just they didn't take. So live coverage usually has a lot greater success. We don't have too many ewes that don't get bred. The ones that don't get bred are culled out at the end of the year. And for us, that's about 100 head that don't breed for us. We do, actually, yeah. It's a little harder to find maybe AI. Well, I hate to say that. Actually, technology is on everybody's side now. So for us, when you have a small group of 30 lambs, you really only need one ram to cover those. And so you can get a couple. To diversify, the greatest way to diversify your genetics is to incorporate artificial insemination, because one ram can cover several ewes, and one ewe is going to produce 1 or 2 offspring. And so it isn't uncommon. I would say more common now for sure than it has been in the past, but that's mostly because access to semen and access to technicians who can do that is much better.
I asked Scott if he believed AI would grow among sheep producers.
I think so. I think talking to some of the breeders, even commercial breeders, they've got an interest in it. I think they see the advantages. In programs like ours, help to kind of educate folks a little bit more about that the benefits of not just buying a quality ram, but actually incorporating some semen as well from different sources that you otherwise couldn't get.
Another technology assisting producers with genetics and reproduction are embryo transfers.
All right, so embryo transfer is we'll take a donor cow. Like I said before, she's usually in the age of 6 to 10, or most of our donor cows, as they're called. So we set them up and we'll flush a lot of embryos out of them, and then we'll put those into recipient cows. So we are basically mass producing a single mating and gaining time and predictability. The commercial guys, they're really starting to catch on to the embryo transfer calves, because they can put a group of bulls together that are full sibs, and the predictability and uniformity in their calf crop is a lot better. Yes, we use artificial insemination, and there's two kinds of embryo transfer. We do them both. Today we were working on conventional embryo transfer, so that embryo is actually fertilized within the cow. And then IVF, they'll take the oocytes out of the donor cow and fertilize them in a petri dish. A majority of those embryos will be frozen and put in at a later date. IVF has came a long ways, and you'll get most often than not, you'll get a lot more viable embryos out of an IVF situation, just by taking Mother Nature out of it. But conventional embryos still have a better conception rate over IVF embryos.
I am an assistant professor at the University of Nevada, Reno.
I asked Dr. Hess why animal genetic research is important for both producers and consumers.
So they feed into the overall production system. There are a lot of things in terms of management, nutrition and where you're taking your animals day to day, and how you're managing them that impact things immediately. But genetics and genomics plays the long game. So the thing that's important to realize is that genetic progress is sustainable. Even if you stop selecting on a particular population, the progress that has been made will stay at that level. And the idea behind genetic selection is to continually advance our populations, to make them more productive, more efficient, more resilient, have better health. And so it's a cog in the overall machinery of livestock production that really focuses on the long-term gains, whereas a lot of other fields focus more on what we can do short-term. In terms of the producer, the genetic progress that we make in our animals is realized at the producer level. They reap the benefits by having more productive animals, more efficient animals, which helps the profitability of their enterprise. All of that is consumer driven though, so it all feeds down to the consumer. We're making decisions about what sorts of traits we select on based on what's going to have the most benefit to the consumer.
Genetics and breeding are important aspects of the animal industry, and with growing technology, these roles are only going to continue to improve. This is Vanetta Persiaga with the University of Nevada, Reno.